Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You know, the 73 uninspiring speech by Dr. Bawumia is nothing but a compilation and a repetition of his shameful lies. The regurgitation of Russia-Ukraine war, justification, but nothing but empty promises calculated to win votes. You know, it's obvious that this government is out and is on its way out of power. They are gasping for breath. They have nothing to hold on to. And so the strategy is that throw in anything, say anything, and, you know, maybe, just maybe, get surrogate to be speaking for you, and then we will have to come back and rebrand Dr. Bawumia. A damaged good can never be rebranded. There is a reason why when you go to the shop and then you buy something and it's not good, you have to take it back. Because why? That thing you bought is not fit for purpose. And Dr. Bawumia is not fit for the presidency. First of all, Lorato says that, oh, this is a man who, from 2008, the favor of God has been with him, and he has been brought into the limelight, and what have you. Let me show you. From 2008 through to 2016, Dr. Bawumia posed as an economic whiz kid with all the solutions to the problems we have in this world. But alas, today, he has been exposed as a quack economist, an economist who cannot use his own economic prescription to solve the economic mess he created himself. And were we not in this country? When Dr. Bawumia said that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. At the time he was making that statement, the exchange rate was 3 cedis, 80 pesos. Today, as at yesterday, the dollar was trading at 12 cedis, 60 pesos. And so the exchange rate has not badly exposed Bawumia. The exchange rate has disgraced him. And it is that disgrace that is now making him distance himself from the mess. Now, you don't know whether he's part of the mess, or he only advised about the mess, or indeed he's not part of the mess. We cannot tell the personality. We were in this country when Dr. Bawumia said that the taxes are hurting, and they are hurting. And if you tax the economy, you run what we call a cyclical downward spiral. Today, he has imposed 40 additional taxes. Today, we are not even doing a cyclical downward spiral. Today, we are doing kwani.
You know, there was a period for about 6 months and counting. People were asking, where is Dr. Bawumia? Do you not believe that maybe at some point he felt my ideologies are not being adhered to, so I really want to distance myself? This is my own thought.
I don't speak for his feelings, so I don't know what he was feeling. What I know is that at the time President Mahama was building the monumental hospitals in this country, at the time he was on a mission to building a 6,000-bed hospital, he said as an economist, and I'm quoting him, given the resources at the disposal of the NDC, he was going to build a Dubai medical city. Today, this man has not supervised a single polyclinic. His economic theories, which he propounded, what happened to the Dubai medical city? Dr. Bawumia was only packaged, speaking anyhow. By this time, he should know that talking does not do anything. And let me ask you, after Bawumia spoke, has the dollar stabilized? Have we all of a sudden found money to pay our external debt? The many unemployed people who could not find jobs, have they found jobs after he spoke? And you see, one would admit that, you see, if Dr. Bawumia has been part of the poisonous tree, and indeed he's a poisonous fruit, he could just come out to say something, for us to say that, oh, maybe the man has changed. You know why? The message is as important as the messenger. So when somebody is promising you something, who and how the promise is made is also very important. And if you need a favor from me, you don't send a 5-year-old to come and ask you to buy you an iPhone, because then I will trivialize the message. And so the message is as important as the messenger. And so Laura to say Dr. Bawumia is the future. Let's look at the past and the present. Then we can tell who is the future. Dr. Bawumia, by the message he gave on the 7th of February, proved to be a liar. You see, and when we say Dr. Bawumia is a liar and we are given examples, people say that, oh, you know what, not every political party can fulfill their manifesto 100%. And so merely because somebody has not fulfilled their manifesto promises, it would be unfair to call the person a liar. Please, Annie, this morning, the basis for me saying that Dr. Bawumia is a pathological lawyer in a chronological manner, so consistent, is that these things he said were not manifesto promises. They were these. In fact, they were about 22. I'll just mention about 7, and tell me which page of the MPP's 2016-2020 manifesto you can find. The first one: we don't have to borrow to build roads. In fact, I've worked at the Bank of Ghana. The money is here. All we need to do is to toll the roads. This was what he said in 2016. And yet this is the person under whose leadership we have increased our public debt from 120 billion to over 600 billion. Today, we cannot...
By his advice.
But yes, he said his advice was taken by his advice. And so he cannot run away from the fact that he lied when he said this. Dr. Bawumia was in Cape Coast in 2020 and told the people of Cape Coast, I have good news for you. We are building a harbor. We are building, it's not we will build. We are building, which means that they were in the process. When President Nanado went there and was asked, he said, I don't even know that the people of Cape Coast needed harbor. That is another palpable lie. He stood on a platform and said that in 18 months under an NPP government, there will be no community in Ghana that will have water or toilet problems. In his own region, Northeast, he should go and check. People have water and toilet problem. He's in his 7th year. That is another blatant falsehood. He says that we will construct concrete roads in Ghana. Today is a shame. The concrete roads that Kwame Nkrumah even constructed, when they have to rehabilitate it, they are using asphalt. So you cannot even build the concrete roads. Even what somebody has built, maintain it under your leadership, and then you want to run away. He says all SHS students will get free tablets by the end of 2023. Please, what is today's date? 12 February 2024. Then he says, oh, because I'm a Muslim, I have the Muslim people at heart. And because of that, I am coming to build a model SHS in all 16 regions for the Zongo communities. Can Loratu here mention one Zongo community that has the secondary schools? And so when we say that Dr. Bawumia is a liar, we are not saying that by just using the words lies. There is a basis, there is a foundation. And one would have said that, oh, all these things which you have said, it's in the past. Maybe when they came to power, he realized that he misspoke or he spoke too much. And so, forgive him. In the 73...
I've heard the communicators say, or some communicators say, saying you do something and not doing it is different from saying I'm a liar or calling the person a liar.
But what is it?
I mean, you're in a process of working. So your inability to achieve the promise you made does not necessarily make you a liar.
You see, there is a reason why political parties are mandated to have manifestos, so that they guide them. so that politicians like Bawumia are not allowed to speak just anyhow because they see a crowd. And so when in the face of all these, you have a person who is dishonest, who says that despite everything in our manifesto, I will personally make these promises with the intention that he will not fulfill them, he cannot subsequently come and say that, oh, you know, if he says something and you don't do it. Otherwise, Annie, I can just promise you that I'll buy a Range Rover for you this morning. And it means nothing. Words mean something. And like I was saying, if he even spoke all these things, and in his speech, he turned a new leaf, maybe this morning the discussion will be different. And in Dr. Bawumia's speech, I have cataloged 9 lies, 9 different lies that Dr. Bawumia told before even telling us his vision. So even before you start, you are lying again. The past liar, present liar. What can the future be? Or in future, all of a sudden, he will start speaking the truth. The first lie, oh, we fixed Dumso. You see, in all honesty, people should not give politicians a bad name. And much as politicians may have their flaws, not every politician is a liar. And so sometimes when Dr. Bawumia keeps doing these things, he has given everybody a bad name. You see, the man, the only thing consistent about Dr. Bawumia is his inconsistency. So far, that is the only consistent thing. We all know that Dumso was fixed in 2015. We all know that in this country, we had Dumso in 1984. We had Dumso in 1997. We had Dumso in 2005 and 2006. We had Dumso in 2012. And then President Mahama said that even though these things started as far back as 1984, I would fix it. Because that's what leaders do. They take responsibilities. And so he fixed it. Then in March 2016, Dr. Bawumia in the studios of Joy FM was asked, President John Mahama has fixed Dumso. And so you criticizing him every time, today he has fixed the problem. You know his response. He said Mahama deserves no credit for fixing Dumso. So you yourself, as far back as March 2016, admitted that President Mahama fixed Dumso. How do you put it in your speech that as part of your achievement of a team you are saying you are not part of, you are not part of those people, but some way, somehow, you have fixed Dumso? Where lies this?
He didn't say he's not part of.
No, he says that he is not in charge. You don't know that energy is an economic issue.
Yeah, but he didn't say he's not part of the
But what did he say?
economy. He said he's an advisor.
He's there as
an
mate,
advisor,
not
a driver.
But so in advice,
whichever you put it.
So his advice fixed Dumso. No, now you speak for him, so help me. His advice
from his speech, yes.
A woman. Now his second lie. Oh, we met an empty coffers, and the economy was so bad that we came to do it well. On one breath, he is not responsible for the management of the economy. He is not the one directly responsible for the mismanagement, the recklessness, and the corruption we are experiencing today. But he, some way, somehow, finds a way to say that, oh, we've made the economy better. That is another lie. What was the economy that the NDC handed over to Dr. Bawumia? The economy we handed over to Dr. Bawumia in 2016 was an economy whose growth rate was predicted to be 8.4% in 2017. Our budget deficit, 6.1 in 2016. Dr. Bawumia's budget deficit, in fact, as for 2020, it was 15.6. 2022, it was 12. So by comparative analysis, we handed over a better economy. Growth rate as at 2016 was 3.5%. Today, we are having to revise it downward below 1.5%. Our debt to GDP, and you see, here I want to pause and explain something to viewers. our debt to GDP that President Mahama handed over to the NPP government was 57%. Annie, for a debt to be sustainable, it must be below 70%. And so at the time we were leaving power, the debt to GDP was 57%. And this 57% was what turned Dr. Bawumia into an economic messiah and whisked. Because at the time, he kept talking about the debt. Even when it was at sustainable levels, you have come. And as of 2022, our debt to GDP is 104%. And you say that you are not a quack economist, that you say that you have done better.
Yeah, but he says that you cannot pretend to ignore the global factors.
Which global?
COVID,
Which global factors?
COVID in Ukraine.
He
was very specific on it.
You see, that thing,
you cannot pretend.
That thing, I'll address it. And I think that we've spoken about it over and over. That much as COVID-19 took the lives of citizens regrettably, it was our greatest blessing. How much are they seeking to get from the IMF under this program? 3 billion. How much did they get during COVID? And how was the money used? I'll come there. I don't want to forget the lies. Food inflation under us was 8.4. Dr. Bawumia went to Malata market and will pick tomatoes, kobe, sachet water, onion, and come together, he as an economist, and say that the rate of food inflation was not 8.4%. Today, you've left it at 28.7%. We cannot even afford. At a point, inflation in this country was 54%. And you say that you did better than us. Average lending rate, when it was 26% under us, Dr. Bawumia said never. By the economic fundamentals and the various things, today, at a point we are doing 40%, all of a sudden, that is a better economy. See, there are 3 things that even govern our economy: industry, manufacturing, construction. Whereas in 2016, manufacturing that we handed over to this government was 4.3%. After 2023, it was 1.3%. Construction, which is 8.4%, you are growing at -1. -1. It means that practically you are not building anything. Industry that we left at 4.3% is doing 1.3%. Despite all the fact that the macroeconomic indicators are showing that we handed over to you a better economy and you've mismanaged it. We created economic buffers. What President Mahama didn't do was to share money for electorates and say that take money and go and vote for me. We created the sinking fund and left $250 million in it. We created the stabilization fund, left another $250 million. When COVID hit, even before the 4th person could record COVID, you went for that fund and you said you shared hot meals for 1.2 million people. You dissipated the resources. The Ghana Infrastructure Fund, we left $270 million in that fund. Today, you took that fund, you have shared your monies for cronies under Agenda 111, and you have not been able to complete a single Agenda 111. We are in the 4th year of Agenda 111. Even when you are handed over money, you cannot do the work.